Hey, I'm Marcus, and I'm playing Crusader Kings 3. And this is going to be a different episode because this is a voiceover for footage I've already recorded. Usually I play and then I record while I'm playing, and now I have to do it here. Sorry for that. We are playing still with folk of Angoulême, as you can see here. And there was this problem of him being French first. And then we converted to Aquitaine. That was, I guess, not intended to be there. Like the other counts in the region were also French, which I did not understand because we are very much entrenched here. In this area, we are very much Aquitaine, should have been Aquitaine from the get-go. And then he was renamed Folk when we converted, kind of, to Aquitaine. So what I want to do here is to rename him. Pick the name that he had before, which would have been Folk. There we go. I was figuring out that in the game and talking about it, but now I have to do that with a voiceover, so yeah. Please excuse me if what I say sometimes don't match what happens on the screen. And of course, next time, third episode, I will definitely see to it that this is going to be alright again. We do have our sons here. Grey does not have a Occitan name. Guilhem was formerly known as Guillaume. That's all right. Guilhem is a nice name, so we'll definitely keep that one. But for Folk here, I'm renaming him to Folk because that was his original name. That's what he will be known as. All right. So, I did several things in this episode, and as you already know, or for any returning viewer, I always do some catching up first, talk about things that I've noticed in the game while I was playing last time. So, I was going through my list of items, so let's see. I don't know what I was talking about here when that happened, so we'll just have to let go. There we go. There he is, looking not very excited about things. What I did not like, definitely, was his armor and helmet and stuff. That's because he's a marshal. I would like him to wear his nice clothes, his laurel wreath. I looked it up. That's what it's called. I think I was talking about the alliances. So yeah, we have an alliance with the Duke because our brother is married to the Duke's sister Beatrice, and she was pregnant here with the child of Godfrey. That's nice. It's unexpected because they're quite old, both of them. But that's all right. We'll take it. When it comes to us, we still have the two sons. Could have more children, I guess. But we'll have to look into this. He sleeps with his wife when he feels that that's what he needs to do. He's not attached to her in any kind of way. But that's just the way things happen, right? That's just the way it is. His sister Umberge here, her daughter Emmeline is married to the Count of Montaigu. And he's quite powerful now because in the last episode he has conquered Touraine, now made that part of Aquitaine. And the thing that was difficult for us was, like, while he is now our nephew-in-law, the thing is the person that was holding Touraine was also one of our family, our second cousin, another Folk d'Anjou. Now, the existing marriage or the existing betrothal from our son to the daughter of Duke Ramon Berenguer is also giving us a nice alliance as well. She is becoming quite the character, as we see, being wrathful and deceitful, brave. So, yeah, she will be tough to handle, but that will be, something that our Guilhem has to put up with. Probably not ourselves. Might not be around to see that happen. Of course, being 44 years old. So, yeah. Let's see how old he is going to get. What else is new? I think in a moment I'm going to look at factions happen in the game. But I was looking at something else at that point. The thing is, obviously, I could look at this footage, then have a look into where things happen, and then write a script and so on. I'm sorry, I'm lazy. I won't do that. I was looking at the knights here. And, of course, we have our two knights, Louis and Charles, that are lowborn knights. So they are only here to serve their purpose. That is their job. They won't be able to marry. That's part of the role-playing. So they will be treated as such, right? But that's different when it comes to William down here, who's the brother-in-law, who's also the marshal. He'll be eligible for marriage also. We'll come to that in a moment. Yeah. Sorry, talking about that here, of Charles and Louis just being lowborn, and that's going to be it for them. That's their lot in life. You'll actually see later that that's going where there will be some kind of problem. Now I can even foreshadow, right? Normally I cannot do that. Now I can foreshadow. So something is going to happen that will make me look into this. Yeah, Louis here is definitely not a nice person, right? Well, he's there for a purpose. If he does not fulfill the purpose, he will be gone. So we have William here, unmarried. I will look into this in a moment. Yeah, fine spouse. Nice to see that I'm actually quite evocative with the cursor, right? Pointing at things and stuff. We only get 3 knights because I'm very limited in this setup. Limited myself, actually. It's -2 knights. Now, Godfrey here should be eligible to be a knight. That would be expected of him. He is the brother and, yeah, therefore has to fulfill that part should it come to that, which is fine. But then we have Ralph here, who's a monk. We made him a monk, actually. So that he does not disturb the line of succession, should there be one. But he's doing his job as a tutor, and that's fine now. We'd like to have a clerical person in that position. But yeah, he should not be a knight, definitely not. So we're going to exclude him from that as well. Mayor Giraud still excluded, that's fine. He also needs to know that this is exactly his purpose. He's just the mayor/bailiff, right? There's no such thing as a mayor in those times. Very much appointed by us and not by the burghers of the town of Cognac. He has even married, right, Beatrice of Cognac, and he did not even ask for my permission. So he's asking for trouble, is Giraud. And when he has children, he will go for like an entrenched ownership of that town, and his wife and children would probably inherit after him. But we can see what we will do about that then. So if that happens, we might interfere, take it away from them again. That's not how things should go, ideally. That's why I said before, he would actually prefer lowborn people in that position too. Again, that don't marry, that could just be, taken away and so on. Now, he has managed to become friends with the sister, with Umberge. And that's a problem. Like, I won't play Fulk as like an autocrat who can just do things by himself. And his sister is very important, right? She is the seneschal. She is there to organize the court. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. And if she says, hey, that guy's my friend, I don't want you to get rid of him, then that means something for us as well. So we should keep that in mind. So yeah, that guy, Giraud, is relatively safe there. Relatively. And we'll see. If he does something really bad, then we'll still consider getting rid of him, despite, I don't know, our sister not liking us for it. But that's about it. Another thing I noticed is that our Duke Guilhem does have children, and he has a son now. That's very good for the succession, of course. We don't want instability there. If his daughter inherited, then all eyes would have been on her. Everyone would want to marry her and so on. And we would have probably instability in the realm. So that's quite good. We just hope that our older Guilhem here lives to tell the tale, right? Kind of manages to raise a son. Now, he is currently the guardian of his own daughter, and that's probably not how it should be. I said before that I like to portray this in a medieval sense, and that means girls are brought up by women, under the care of women. Boys, after the age of 6, are under the care of men. Now, here I was looking to raise his daughter at my court. There's a workaround. Suddenly I can choose other people. Before he wouldn't accept that for some reason. And now I'm looking in that list for the sister. That's working quite well because she does have a stewardship focus. The sister is very good in that. And of course, then she will grow up at our court. We get some influence over her possibly. All these nice things. That just, again, bring us closer to that family of Poitiers. So, let's do that. We can do it now. Come on. I was talking here, probably. I don't know about what, but it would probably be important. So let's wait for me to move the cursor down there and say we offer the guardianship. Finally. And then we will have a look at what we'll do next. Which, I don't know. There we go. Offer guardianship, and that's that. Now. I was looking at the politics of the realm of Aquitaine, and we do see that there's a Liberty faction going on with 2 members inside of it, and those members would actually be Montagu up there, and another one. But we are currently at 2 level of control, and they want to go for 1, I guess. I guess I didn't even look at that at the time, right? I do not open the members list, but it's our friend in Montagu, our ally actually. So it would bring us in quite a position should he press that into a war. Then we would likely stand with the Duke rather than with our ally. Yeah, because that would just be the right thing to do. We cannot scheme ourselves, right? We cannot open any factions or join any factions because we are allied to the Duke. So that's the thing. I was having a look around too in the family and the larger family, and I noticed that Maria here, our niece and spy master, she was called Marie before when she was French. Now she's Occitan. She's married to this guy, Abel de Ventadour. And last time I said, he's quite useless in his traits and so on. But I just brushed him off as a low noble, at least with lineage. But then I saw that he does have lineage, actually. And it goes back to his mum. There we go. Rodberga de Rochechouart. And then over to the grandfather, Amalric. And now that grandfather had a mother who was a Taillefer. So he is actually a distant cousin. And when it comes to that, I think that even the marriage with my own limitations that I've worked around, the 7 links between people that have to be there in order for them to marry, this marriage wouldn't have worked even, because here is 6 links between them. Anyway, I cannot bring him to my court. He would come with some other courtiers. That would actually be quite nice. And if I pay for the travel expense, would still not come, even if I raised the opinion to 100 here. I would not be able to get him to the court. It would still be somewhere around -10. That's just, I guess, how the game wants this to work, not just like persuading people, sending them gifts, and then you'll be able to get them to your court. You will need something else. They would have to be, he would have to have a negative opinion of his liege. I was tagging him here anyway, just to keep up with him. Still part of the larger family, and we know, yeah, he likes to have his family close, not in a nice kind of way, just because he likes to be able to use his family members as pawns in the game that he's playing. Yes. All right. I guess the next thing that's happening here is looking for marriages. Because we have William here, who's not married. We have Adema de Limoges, that's not married. And Amburga, the sister-in-law, who's not married. And we can see that she would also leave the court if we don't see to it. She has been brought up under her sister, likely, as her lady-in-waiting. Or she might even have been a lady-in-waiting to our sister, actually. Like, not to her sister, our wife, Kündo. As we can see, she's been brought up quite well. Well, she's paranoid and all, but at least she has nice traits. Otherwise, actually being quite capable, she would also be a capable seneschal, for example. Now, I will go through them and pick up, marriages for them. William here comes from Ö. So he's Norman, and we would want to find a marriage for him that reflects that. He is still third in line when it comes to inheriting Ö, because the uncle here does have a wife but no children. And his father is an Ö, and he would right now be the heir to Ö. So that's something to keep in mind. So if that's going to happen and William has to go to Ö to become the count, we want him to have a wife that kind of allows him, to have some local relationships. There we go. As remember, all of these children are or have been at our court. One of them has already left because we could not give him anything. That's okay. There we see he does have a wife, that Count William of Ö, but she's also chaste, currently ill. And he's 43, so we'll have a look. Maybe he will die childless, and then the whole trap snaps, and our William here has to leave our court. We rely on him to a degree right now, right? He is the marshal, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. That would take away all of them, actually. I think his brother Ralph and his sister Umberga would also leave the court at that point. Now, he's from the Normandy dynasty, and that means a lot of marriages are excluded because I couldn't find good marriages with, the 7 links that were working. Because a lot of these guys here in Normandy are actually of the Normandy dynasty. But then, I went to our good old Odo's court here. That's Odo of Bayeux, Bishop Odo of Bayeux. By all means, not Count Odo, but that's not how the game works. He is the guy who's famously portrayed in the Tapestry of Bayeux, wielding that club, and that's why some historians have thought said that generally the clergy was able to participate in battles, but they would not be able to wield swords or whatever. It's a bit flimsy when it comes to the sources, because that would have been the only one, and there could have been any reason why he was wielding a club. So, I don't know. But trivia thing, that's why clerics in D&D are not allowed to wield swords out of the box. Just because of the Tapestry of Bayeux and our Bishop Odo here. Now, Odo has people at his court, and one of them is Richard d'Avranches. Now, our Richard here likely hailing from Avranches, because that's his name. He is a low noble, but he has lineage, and lots of children, lots of daughters. And I've looked through them, and most of them already are betrothed or in marriage, and to important people. Like, she is betrothed to a count, the Count of Rouen. So there would be dynastic, positives about this. And then we have Maud here, who is not betrothed to anyone. And we think she would be quite suitable to marry William. See, they work well. We do here, they are related to a degree, but I counted it and there was definitely 7 links between them. And yeah, he will lose some prestige because she is a low noble and he comes from a really reputable dynasty, but that's okay. That's all right. He can take it. He's a big boy. All right. So we are doing this, sending the proposal. There we go. He is done and dusted. Now, the next guy on the list was our Adhemar de Limoges. Yeah, he's a bit of our protege, right? We're trying to make a good ruler out of him, which is a bit, proving difficult. But he obviously should also marry. He is still in the line of succession, though in his case it's a bit different. The Count of Limousin already has a wife and children now, so he's further away from it, so he will likely stay at our court. But again, we want to find a match for him that also suits us and our ambitions. So, yeah, again, looking around, the easiest thing probably would have been him marrying Amborga here, because she is at our court. They're already available, just match them. Be like, you marry. The problem here is that taking my own approach seriously is they are not related by blood, right? So in our modern sense, they would be clear to marry. There would be no problem there. But in the medieval sense, Amborga being our sister-in-law means that she is actually our sister in everything. Right? That's this concept of families merging and so on. We would treat her as our sister. And therefore, obviously, my sister cannot marry my nephew, right? That would be too far, too close. Not 7 links between it, just 2 or 3. So yeah, not working. I wanted to use that mechanic here, arrange introduction, just to give him some agency in this as well. Oh, we'll see where that leads. But that was the theory, at least. And we thought we had found the perfect match for him here. And that's the first in line in that list. That's a mod thing, by the way. Yeah, that's not in. I think it's Love, Marriage, Family that does that. Here we have her, Orsenda Diegues Menendez. And she is the daughter of the Count of Coruña. And she is even the second in line to inherit at that point. So quite valuable. And should she succeed as countess, then our Adhemar would actually become a ruler, or at least a consort of a ruler. And we would like that very much. We also think that he's quite compatible in terms of his traits and so on. So yeah, why not? He would accept it, so we sent that proposal. Now, she's likely going to have to travel to our court for that to happen. That's okay. And when it comes to Amborga, that was the most interesting part here. I looked for a marriage where I don't necessarily lose her from my court. If I married her off to, another count or whatever, that would be fine maybe, but we don't gain from that because we cannot get alliances. The game does not accept this sister-in-law as the sister, so we would not gain an alliance by marrying her off. And we would still maybe profit from her being at court. As I said, she's quite capable, could fulfill a position at some point. So how would that work? She could marry someone who is also highborn, who is indeed having a lineage, but maybe who, for whatever reason, is out on the road. And therefore, if they marry, she would not meet him on the road, but rather that guy would come to our court. And the interesting part is now, do I find someone that fits that description? And here I came back to Thouars and Emery, right? Said it before, he got the Duke of Aquitaine to assist him in conquering Touraine because he had a claim on that one. Now, Touraine before had been held by Folk d'Anjou, and this Folk d'Anjou is a member of our extended family. Like, our grandmother was a Anjou, and he's obviously also related to her. Now, I think I was looking here for him. There we go, title history, and there he is. And he's currently nowhere, or at least not in a special place, not at some court anyway. There's a longboat there, which would indicate the north, but no. Make no mistake, he's in Italy. He is currently there in Genoa. So, what do we do here? He's obviously a difficult guy to handle probably, right? Yeah, but very good in martial, decent prowess, could also serve as a knight, possibly more, at our court. And who knows, maybe at some point we have the ability to restore his claim in some way, or maybe his offspring, right? So there is something to gain here. Also, we don't want a distant relative here to just, live on the streets. That's not befitting of a man of his standing. So, I was thinking about this for a bit, and should I not? Obviously, he's a difficult guy. But in the end, I was like, yeah, why not? I counted, actually. And here was a tricky part, because if you go back, there's his mum, Ermengarde. Now, that's one link. Now, Ermengarde has a father, Folk. That's the second link. Now, he had sisters. And I think I'm going for the wrong sister first. Yeah. No. That's not hers. We're not looking for her sons. No, different sister. There you go. Back and forth. That's the third link here. If I counted correctly now. Third or fourth. Somewhere around there. Then the fourth link is here. The fifth link is here. And now the thing is, right? If we do the whole clicking around, then we have to go through Kündo to get to her. So that would end up with 7 links. And that would be fine. If we say she is strictly the sister of me and count it as such, then we only have 6 links. So I said, okay, maybe this is a borderline thing. But yeah, I don't want to restrict myself too much in the end when it comes to that. So, yeah, I thought, why not? Let's have her. I forgot about him. Now I need to get him back. Where is he? Not Clemens. There he is. I could do this. Right? Let's just do it. Let's not think too much about things in the end. Makes things difficult. So, yeah. They can marry, and they will. There we go. And through her marrying him, it's still a patrilineal marriage. So if he was at some court, she would join him there. But since he isn't, he will, in theory, join our court. And I think with that, I was done. Was about the half-hour mark. And that's usually the time I need before I finally play the game. And there we go. There's Folk coming to our court, just as we expected him to do. Then there is Odo of Bayeux, who is accepting the marriage of William and Maud. Then there is Duke Guilhem accepting that his daughter is being raised at our court now. And now we have the introduction, right? The invitation has been accepted, and Orsenda is on her way to Angoulême. All right, I've figured out that she was coming from Coruña here. I did read out the text though, so I will get back to that. But she is actually close to Santiago. That's quite cool. So yeah, having that connection would be great. Adema at least is pleased when I present the news of his potential future wife. She's coming here to meet me, he asked excitedly. I hear she's the sort of woman I'd get on well with. Then he paused, considering, but what if she doesn't like me? Does that mean we won't be married, even after she comes all this way? We shall see, I said. And that was enough to placate Adema's worries, at least for the time being. Yeah. Now, yeah, normally I would not use this option of this kind of introduction, because he's more of an like, I don't care if people like each other. But this was his attempt of saying, hey, I will at least give you some kind of agency in this, and meet your future wife before you should marry her. So, oh yeah, by that time I had found out that I was not playing the music, so here I'm playing the music. And now we're hearing the music. Alright. Because, yeah, of course, that is still captured. I just forgot to turn on Voice Meter. That's the program I use for, recording. Alright, I've been informed on the goings-on of the wedding of my courtier Amboga and Fulk. Yeah, they may be little more than strangers, which is fine. Right? As long as they don't go for each other's throats, we are fine. Yeah, may St. Joseph bless their union, of course. There we go. And as we see here, he's marching on through Provence and then westward to our court. Now, what else is new? Oh, and there we go. Agnes is carrying the burden of having given birth to a fatherless bastard. It's terrible for an unmarried woman and her child, yet I cannot let it be known that I'm the true father. And no, I don't think that's how he thinks. I said that he would be open about this when it's needed. And we have Basile here, a son. Right? Having a son is always good, even if it is a bastard. So, yeah, he will claim the child as his own. Not causing any trouble, at least in his opinion. And, yeah, there we go. Now, right, the secret is out. Basile is suddenly on everyone's lips. Basile is my child? Is suddenly... yeah. So obviously that means that we have gained the adulterer trait. We're losing stress because we're honest. Fine. And, yeah. Everyone knows as well. That is fine with me too. It's obviously worse for her, theoretically, because, yeah, people might forgive him. But, yeah, if she actually suffers from this, and she will if the wife comes into play, then we will have to see what happens. But for now, we will just acknowledge that we have a son from our wet nurse. And since she is the wet nurse, right, don't know if I'm pointing that out here. No, I'm just pointing out that I'm an adulterer. As you can see, that's shunned by our Duke, but he wouldn't go against me. He likes us very much, so that's none of my concern. Here, the only concern lies with the church. As you do see, the Pope is not pleased. Now that we are a sinner and an adulterer, he has lost quite a lot of opinion on us. That is bad, obviously. Also because, again, even if people are, I don't know, slightly cynical or detached like he's callous or so on, he is still a believer in this religion. He is still worried about his own salvation. Should he die, would he end up in hell if he was brandished a sinner? That's a concern of his. Now, the way he mitigates this is not by, I don't know, praying or, you know, doing these things. Obviously, he wants to do gestures, but he does not see this as a thing of kind of restoring his virtue or whatever. He sees this in a very transactional sense. So he would think, okay, I've done something bad. This is tipping the scales of my salvation on the evil side. Now I need to do something that the church and God would see as good. And yeah, that's the tricky part, right? So at least he has some gold right now, over 100. So he could maybe use that to invest into his salvation. He has different options that come with that, and I will be exploring those in a second. There we go. Yeah. Close the window. There we go. we have several decisions that that can help us here that come from the Rice mod, actually. And we will have a look into that in a moment. Like, we could build a monastery. We could also go on a pilgrimage to Santiago if Bush came to shove, right? So, but that's kind of like a last resort for him. Now, the decisions I'm talking about are supporting the Way of St. James, and that is the Via Turonensis, right? The pilgrimage path to Santiago, which kind of, fits him in several ways, would also do some good for him. Right? For example, I can fund road repairs so pilgrims travel efficiently, or build hostels that can provide them shelter. Now, the effects here are quite good. I would gain some prestige. Now that I'm a sinner, that would be good. I will be viewed as being a supporter of the Way of St. James. As you see here, that will give me a positive opinion modifier with, members of Catholicism. And I will even get a positive modifier for our county. So, yeah, I'm definitely doing it, right? There we have it. Every day, Christian pilgrims trek across the territories I rule to reach the tomb of St. James in the Christian holy site of Santiago. Traveling can be dangerous, however, as there are constant dangers from bandits, wild animals, bad weather, or even just poor road conditions. Therefore, as a Christian count, it is my duty to assist these pilgrims, including those originating from my lands, on their journey. After all, I'm sure that St. James himself would approve of any kind of aid I can lend to his devotees. I've therefore set aside money to be spent on various infrastructure projects along the major pilgrimage routes leading to Santiago in my realm, ranging from improving road conditions to constructing hostels and more. This will all ensure a safer, more comfortable journey for the pilgrims. Great stuff. It's the least I can do. Yeah, when it comes to that, I guess he would do the least. That's alright. So, now that we did this, I guess we are still a sinner. Yeah, there's nothing to be done about that at this moment. But at least the clergy likes us a bit better. And we even got this modifier here. See, holding taxes plus 6%. Some development growth, control growth as well. All nice things to have. So we have also profited from this. Alright, yeah. Going forward, yes, we are brandished as a sinner. That's alright. Yeah, our countess does not like us that much. The thing is, she has not become the rival of Agnes, the wet nurse. That is quite good. Yeah, he's a novice marshal now. He has been learning in his position. And now we even have a son for Godfrey. So we have a nephew from that, prestigious alliance here. I was searching for a name that was suitable, that we could go for. I stumbled upon Auton Guillaume for a while. And it kept popping up. Albert, Robert, no. Maynard, no. Auton Guillaume, okay. If that's what it takes, then okay. That's his name. Right. Little Auton Guillaume. There you are. Now go on being a baby. Right, what else was I doing? Yeah, you see? She is now better at being a wet nurse because she has a child. That's that's just the reason he was doing this, of course. He was only doing this because of that. I think looking at her as a wet nurse, I was changing her focus here because she was currently encouraging competition. And in a roleplay sense, yeah, she is doing that, but I think she would be bad at this, right? She's not equipped for that, so yeah. And then I had this here. But I'm going back to that in a moment. Yeah, so she's now promoting friendship on still virtual. Promote friendship sounds right. That's something that matches her better. There we go. Now, sometimes I find it easy to forget what a skilled and intelligent woman Agnes is. We were walking around the gardens at Angoulême today when she spoke about a tax dispute I'd mentioned having with my vassals. Reluctantly at first, and then with greater conviction. In fact, she gave me a way around it completely. She continued on for much of the afternoon, and I listened with fascination. Her advice could prove useful indeed if she was willing to keep on giving it. And that really impressed him. That is mighty impressive. He was thinking that yeah, she's just a low-born fling. Nothing much to her, but now she is actually giving us good advice. So that kind of made him think maybe she's worth keeping around. right? Maybe he would not just set her aside now and say, yeah, okay, got the bastard here, and let's see what I will do with that, but yeah, maybe we shouldn't continue doing this. But no, now he thinks that there's something to her, and she's worth keeping, so, good stuff. Oh yeah, that was that happening. And I was like, who's this? And it's Edith Swanneck. For whatever reason, she has her own band of merry adventurers. There we go. And participating in some war happening in Spain. Good stuff. That's just the random things the game does. Look at it. All of her 2 sons also have, camps. They're now adventurers. Yeah, I guess you do you. Edith. Eat Gifu. Okay, the arrival. Alcenda finally arrived at Angoulême early in the day and was quickly greeted in the castle courtyard by none other than Adhemar himself. Fortunately, he still seems pleased by the idea of the visit and what it potentially represents, and their initial exchanges as he bade her welcome did nothing to dispel that. Meanwhile, Alcenda was cordial and well-mannered. If anything, she was eager to get things underway. The actual introduction will begin in 2 days' time, where both of them spend time alone and get to know each other better. Now we're leaving it to him, right? This is all that we could have done. Now he needs to make sure that this marriage will work. Let's see how that goes. Leaving a good impression. After Alcenda and her retainers were put up for the night, I held a small dinner in the Great Hall. A chance, I thought, for Adhemar and the maiden to speak before the more formal introduction tomorrow. It went better than I'd hoped. Alcenda was the soul of manners and temperance. She did not indulge in spirits, ate only a small portion of her meal, but did it all with such grace that nobody else felt gluttonous for not eating as she did. Even if there's those who might look down on a woman who doesn't drink, Adhemar very much took notice and clearly approved. Let's hope this momentum carries on into tomorrow's introduction. Right, so again, we are helping him. Still in our sphere here, right? That's why it's working. So, excellent way to start. And now it's up to him. The next day, when the morning arrives, Alcenda presents herself in the throne room, pimped and preened and ready to spend the day with Adhemar. She appears nervous, which is understandable considering the eyes of the entire Angoulémian court are on her. If she has any reservations, she at least has the grace not to let them show. As for Adhemar, he is far less guarded about his opinion. He has been beaming brightly at Alcenda from the moment she appeared, clearly eager to get the day started. While the court watches, Adhemar steps forward and takes her out of the chamber. His plan is to spend the day on a long hike. Apparently, the introduction is about to begin. Hiking. I guess that's not something that, that Folk would have proposed. So let's see how that goes. And it's a disastrous match. The day that Adhemar and Alcenda spent in each other's company turned out to be a disaster. According to those who kept watch, neither seemed to care for the other right from the start. Initially, the conversation during their hike was pleasant enough until an argument led to cold silences. Adhemar set relentless pace and seemed annoyed by Alcenda's lack of familiarity with the terrain. Neither wanted to be there, but by then it was already too late. They were like oil and water, with not a single spark to be seen. By the time the sun set, it was already clear this was no match. Yeah, we did not like this. Folk does not like it one bit. He is giving him the reins, trying to, and then he's going on a hike for whatever reason. Just do something pompous with her, right? Hiking. And then he, walks ahead and No. This is not good. Obviously, she does not want this now. He doesn't either. But we could say we proceed anyway, which would be a Folk thing to do. After all, we want this connection to Coruña in Spain. The thing is that it now is also dependent on how her father sees this, of course. And she's probably writing him back and saying, No, I don't want this guy. Please, Daddy, bring me home. He's callous, but he's also forgiving, trusting, and so on. Yeah, he's not agreeing. The marriage arrangements are called off. This is it. Adhemar has, done nothing with the chance he was given. I'm not pleased. He isn't pleased either, I guess. And, we'll see. Not immediately looking for a match for him. Oh yeah, there's a conflict up in the north. A holy war for the Duchy of Pomerania that we are, for whatever reason, part of. I guess he can't make love to Agnes, but why couldn't he make love to his wife? She is, for whatever reason, going to London. She's going to London, possibly to meet with her distant relative, the King of England. I can, of course, pardon Agnes, and yes, I will do that, because why wouldn't I? And I can lay with her again, right? I find my lover Agnes waiting for me. She greets me courteously with a ringing voice, that is respectful, while I approach her and slowly remove her clothes. That is also respectful. And we don't read the part that is in italics down there, because it's very lewd. Don't read it. Don't read it. Don't pause and read it. It's very bad for your eyes. The YouTube would not want you to. But we can see the approach that Canalitas is taking to this. You have her being respectful, him being respectful. They're not in love or anything, right? But that's exactly how we want her to handle this. We don't want her to be overly attached. So she is, again, doing all the right things. That's why we keep her around. Yeah, The Perfumed Garden by Muhammad Al-Nefzawi. Apparently, that was the Playboy equivalent of that day. All right. Yeah, there she is. Still no rival with the wife, so she's handling that as well. Good for her. She's a craven and content and so on. Maybe we really misjudged her. Really misjudged what she's capable of. All right. Time is going on, and now we get to see, okay, what is the next thing happening, or what is the thing that we can do? Power sharing ended. The King of France is in war as well, I think. At least he's wearing chainmail in that picture. Now, if push came to shove, right, we would send her and take the vows and go to a convent. That would be the normal thing to do. Just, you know, putting it under the table and saying, okay, look, that's it. But that's not happening, so we're alright. And for whatever reason, she's having a fever here. And now she's pregnant again. Alright. Alright. Our level of fame is growing. Our glory is widely known. So all of this adultery thing, of course, is not affecting us when it comes to our representation. Probably some of the other nobles might even envy us. Say, he gets to be with this, young and pretty woman. Now, what else? Still being a sinner. This will be there for a long time, as we can see, because the progress is, quite in the beginning. I was checking the knights again and having a look. I was getting more knights now, or be able to have more knights because my marshal increased. Now, our folk here is now at a court. She's pregnant, that's nice. And she's also in London. They were all in London, apparently. All of the dudes with my wife, who led them, have been in London. Maybe that was his coronation or something. I don't know. The Dictatus Papae. Yes, right. News from Rome. This is the turning point where the church is finally taking more control over the investiture of bishops. I think in France at the time, or at least in the game, we would not have been able to do that anyway. But, of course, we know that that was a practice being done in the Holy Roman Empire. And this, historically, would lead to a clash between Henry IV of the Empire, or Heinrich IV, and the Pope, leading to the famous walk to Canossa, where basically Heinrich forced the Pope to forgive him. Yeah, that's him. Still not crowned, by the way. I guess it's becoming more difficult now, because the Pope wouldn't agree. Alright, now. Starting off again. None of our concern, really. Just setting the stage. Now, again, back to the knights. Now, Folk is one of our knights now. He could be an excellent marshal, of course. But we will leave that to William. He has done nothing wrong in the past. Quite the contrary. We're quite pleased with him. And And yeah, doing a good job and so on. So no need to get him out of that position. Again, our wife might not like that too. And while he would do things he wants, he still would try to avoid any kind of conflict at court. So yeah, that's just the way it is. That's our array of knights, and that's looking quite good to me. I have a Neo-Burgundian culture. Neo-Burgundian. What is that? Yeah, that's obviously derived from French. So, yeah, okay. They're industrious now. That's their thing. Good for them. Let's say Prince Robert. Alright. Ralph is being a good tutor. Making sure that children at court are learning. So great. My sister-in-law, Beatrice, has given birth to a daughter. Even less expected. They are having another child. And she wants to call it Ines. That's also the name that our ward has. So it's very much a Poitiers name. And that's fine. We're going to honor that heritage. And say, okay, the girl can be called Ines. The arousal is causing stress, of course. Of course. And there we are. We can arrange the marriage between William and Maud. Of course, that means she also comes to our court. There we go. He parted. Looking for... I don't know what I'm looking for here. I have been informed of the goings-on at the wedding of my Marshal William and Maud. And now the good thing is that they actually have become soulmates. I have been told the couple acted as destined soulmates, brought together to create a love story for the ages. I guess Folk doesn't care that much about that, but he likes that they like each other, right? That's... better than hating each other, causing trouble at the court potentially. No, that's good. Good stuff. And we can see that I'm also able to plan a feast in their honor. And that's something that he likes to do, right? Making sure that he's honoring them. At the same time, making sure that he can expand his reach and bringing people to court. Yep, planning the feast. There we go. In Angoulême, of course, the honored betrothed will be William. And now, as for the honorary guest, what do we go for? Obviously, we could pick one of the local counts. Always good to have relations or better relations with the counts. Yeah. And then I was checking, okay, what count would actually make sense. Guys like Adalbert of La Marche would make sense. Count Aldebert of Périgord would make sense. All established families would be good to have good relationships with them. See him here. And then Adalbert, of course, could all be eligible for being an honorary guest here. That being said, doesn't have much to do with William and his wife, right? So I was looking a bit around and then thinking about, okay, what happens when I invite neighboring rulers? And ta-da! King William would even attend if we invited him. So yeah, how about that? How about inviting the King of England to our court to witness this marriage? Great stuff. Extended family doesn't do anything. I guess we could invite knights, so we at least make sure that guys like Folk d'Anjou is there too. Which also means that guys like Charles and Louis will be there, and I hope they behave. Behave around the king. There we are. Right, okay, yeah. This is now a big feast all of a sudden. And that means, yeah, I have to step up. I have to step up my game here. More number of courses, more food being presented. This will be costly, of course, but fitting for a king. And now, what do we do? Maybe instead of having them as honorary guests, we could look for a friendship with one of the other people. Yeah, the kings of Spain are not coming. That's not a surprise. This is not concerning them. This is a marriage very much concerning the Normans. And I was thinking, okay, maybe instead of having him as the honorary guest, I can pick Aldebert here in order to try to boost our relations. So I was picking him. Sorry. All right, feast is going. We have a lovely time ahead of us. I can't find Count Aldebert anywhere yet. Yes, silly. He needs to join you first. That's how it works. He doesn't materialize at your court. This is not vanilla CK3. He has to travel there. Although even in vanilla CK3 he would have to travel there. Oh, there we go. Yes, the king is definitely joining us. So good. Wow. Good stuff. Now, yes, that is it. Anything else to see here? No. I know. Oh, our sister-in-law Beatrice falls ill. She has consumption, and that's a bad, bad disease that she will likely die of, especially since we don't have a personal physician. So maybe it's about time that we have one. Now, who can be a physician? Of course, we do have people here that kind of would be suitable. Like Maud could evolve into this with just a bit of training. Of course, the bishop as well. But no, I will not do this. Because she is highborn. She is here to be, you see, she's now a mother and so on. No, that's not what she is supposed to do. A personal physician should be either a member of the clergy, but not the bishop, of course. That's below him, beneath him. But member of the clergy would be fine. Also, a woman could be fine, but then it's more like a wise woman or something. So maybe more lowborn-ish. Or anyone really that's skilled and that we can take, who is already trained in that profession. Now, I was thinking here, back and forth, what do I do with her? Obviously, we could recruit for a court position. That would be costly in the end. There you go, search for physician. Confirm. Let's see. And there we go. Meanwhile, the feast is starting. Welcome, friends. The mood is at least bright. The wife looks pleased. It's okay. There's so many bites to choose from. Why is it written in italics? Is he like, yeah, bites could also be an innuendo? Huh? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, court physician. Yeah, so we have two guys here. We have either Manasses or we have Julien. And immediately I'm taken aback and say, this guy here, Julien, who doesn't even wear proper clothes, who dares to come before me in my throne room. And he might be a physician, he might be able to do this, of course. He might be even good at it. But no. Never would I consider taking that guy to my court. On the other hand, we have Manasses de Chatillon. He is actually a low noble. That would be quite interesting because that would be unusual for a noble man to actually take up this profession. But we can see that he's currently at no court, so that's maybe what he does to to get on, to live, to survive. And he's learned something through that. So, okay. Not what we would ideally seek when we look for a court physician. So, yeah. But he has a lineage, even tracing it to the current mayor of Chatillon. There we go. Which I hope will not come to bite us in the arse. Maybe he will at some point come back to Châtillon to be the mayor there. That would be not nice. But he is a physician indeed, so he would be some kind of traveling barber, right? Someone who pulls teeth and so on. Cares for people. Maybe even highborn people, because he can afford that. He has nice clothes to wear. Alright, we let him improve his skills a little also, I guess. Because average, yeah, he can do better in general. And it's only costing us prestige, and we have enough prestige. Right. What do we have here? Yeah, I was looking again at that. Like, how could he improve technically? He already is a surgeon, so, yeah, okay. But yeah, anyways. Mutual spirits. What started as an ordinary feast became an exceptional one thanks to the presence of Countess Emmeline. That is our niece, who is... oh yeah, we spoke all evening about our manners of subjects, and as things would have it, we seem to have a lot in common. I had such a good time with her. Yes, he would, I guess, because she's quite, similar to him, also callous and lustful. And she is rivals with her husband, Emery here. And, that probably makes her reach out. Say, I guess she would rather be at our court, but there's nothing we can do about this. Right? Can't invite her because she's his spouse. But anyway, we have a great evening with our niece. What else is happening? The bishop is having fun, dancing. It's taken much of the evening to get myself close to Count Aldebert, there we go, without making it feel forced. After all, the best friendships are natural, and I want him to think that this is spontaneous. Huh? By St. Matthew, extols my maybe friend, barely disguising a belch. That was a heavy course, and so soon after the last weighty one. It simply sits too heavily in the stomach. I'm simply cannot believe that the servants expect to keep serving their master, working this poorly. And that's an affront, right? He's being an ass. That's we don't like this at all. And should we just grovel and placate him and be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have served so many courses. And he's like, bloody hell, I have put a considerable amount of coin into this to be able to host a feast worthy a king. And this guy here kind of, yeah, wants to reprimand me for this. No, he realizes that this is my feast, right? So maybe I'm giving up on this befriend approach here, or maybe it wouldn't even go further, but no. He would not say, oh yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry about that. Not sorry at all. As the feast is underway and our guests are eating and drinking merrily, Amboga approaches Kundo and me at the great table. This is a marvelous feast. All my compliments to the hosts. And, yeah, of course. Of course you could say that, no, this was all me. And we might think that suits his character. But, he's well aware, right, being a charismatic negotiator, that having a wife that also feels seen and being heard and so on makes things easier, makes her more complacent. There we go, she likes us better now. That's good. Right. There's nothing like a feast. It reminds us all of what is good in life, and the company is not too bad either. At least those seated close to me seem to think so. You are something special, folk, Maria tells me. Count Adalbert and Agnes nod both their heads in agreement. At least he's come around, I see, Count Adalbert. I just do what feels right. There he goes. And now, of course, we raise the glass to a toast for... Oh, it's not a glass, what he has there. A tankard. Raise the tankard for a toast to King William. Of course, that text down there, I don't read it out here because it doesn't make any sense to do any other than going ahead and toasting him. We invited him after all. We wanted him to be here, right? There we go. So, a toast to King William. Of course, we could have invited someone that we wanted to mock and then go ahead and then mock them, I guess. But, yeah. And now, it's about the wedding and the couple. Right? I walk to them smiling. What a pleasure it was to have you with us, and may St. Joseph bring good tidings upon you both. Mm-hmm. With that, it's done. Yeah, that was the text. Thank you, me in the game. Yeah, sent them on their way. We gained some prestige. That's always great. Some legitimacy. That's also always great. We are now at level 3, being a rightful ruler. Good stuff. Alright, he's going back, of course, to England. And we are back at our court. We can make love. That's always good. No, now we cannot. Why? Because he's in an army. Yeah. He is the marshal of Aquitaine. And so, because I have the Warlords mod installed, he is the only one other than the Duke and his direct family to be able to lead troops for Aquitaine. Now he's been chosen to lead those troops, and I don't like that very much. Now my agency is stripped from me. Can't do things at my court because I'm in an army. Alright, this war here has been going on for quite a while, and it should be over soon, right? We have 12,000 against 1,800. That's not difficult. And I guess our 160 guys here will not make much of a difference. I would believe. Let's see what's happening up here. And there we go, Pomerania. And okay. There's lots of sieges happening. That's good. Those sieges might put an end to this. Oh yeah, I was having a look and seeing, okay, could actually have an accolade, right? No, not my lowborn knights. They will not elevate them such. But I would consider folk. That being said, a thug and a scoundrel. I don't want anyone to be famous for that in my realm. And my wife is pregnant again. Look at that. See? Kundo. There she is. Yep, still no rivals. Always checking because I cannot believe it. I was expecting a sadistic wife to directly go. Alright, we have another bastard daughter here, but she is not recognized. And I was not given the option to reveal her, so okay. Alright, we have a sermon here. Today Ralph held a fiery sermon for all of my children of the court. They were apparently spellbound as he zealously read from the scriptures. My son Guillaume seemed to take it to heart, perhaps a little too much. He has been hounding the servants for hours since, pointing out how they can be better Catholics. Alright. Now, he is our responsibility to bring up. And of course, I could let him be his own man, just choose the first option here, let him become zealous. We would create a different character that is a bit different from us, not the same one as we are. Now, since I am, however, having a direct influence on this, and we are role-playing folk, he would not say a strong belief will serve you well, boy, or this world is dark and full of horrors, it's kill or be killed. He would say faith is a means to an end. Right? That's his transactional approach. Obviously, you are afraid of going to hell and everything, and the church is important. We know that. It's just a matter of keeping those scales balanced in the end. So, yeah, I was wrestling with myself here, I think. Should I go or should I not? But I went with it in the end, right? And now he has the ambitious trait, which I don't have. So, and he's still different. Still different from me in the end. Okay. Inconsequential. Let's see. Yeah. For whatever reason, Artemar is now only average in his ability. Don't know why that happened. He was that good before. And yeah, there's still the thing of him having to marry at some point. But yeah, I won't do this while I am on a ship in the North Sea. Okay, I'm going down there, and then I'm going east. Don't know why we went to the middle of the North Sea and then came back. Probably because we don't know where we are going. And maybe we don't have to go here anyway, because that one here is over almost. 99%. So we're just waiting for this siege here to finish. I mean, it's going down to 79% now, but that still shouldn't be a problem. Probably because they conquered something back. 4, 3, 2, 1, take off. Yes. There we are. For whatever reason, it always takes the AI a bit to actually make peace. So here we are, waiting. Waiting and waiting and waiting until the AI deems it proper to end this war. And there we go. It is ended, but I'm still here. Let's, disband the army, please. Okay, I'm back. It's one of the only instances in the game where you're still being teleported from one place to another. I won't complain, since otherwise I had to come back here from bloody Pomerania. And he has arousal. Of course. He's been away for some time now. And I would lead him to make love. And in this case, he will pick Agnes. His wife is pregnant anyway. So there you go. Now I have the other window here. So I can return to the names of parts of the body. No. We're not doing that. Yeah. They are still respectful to each other. That is good. That's actually great. She's still playing her part. Social manipulation. Okay. Yeah. The first time it happened, I barely even gave it a moment's thought, but my steward, Mayor Giraud, has grown bolder. His challenges no longer pass unnoticed at the council table. He is testing my limits. The others are sure to follow unless I'll give him a taste of his own medicine. Yes, there he is again. He is really testing my patience. If he continues to behave like that, I will have no choice but to get rid of him in one way or another. And then I won't care that he's friends with my sister. But right now, she is still putting her protective hand over him. And now I get to see how I could possibly deal with this. And of course, this is an event that you pick because you want to have experience in the diplomacy lifestyle. But in the end, I don't think he would try to work around this here. He's not being the negotiator when it comes to his own servant. And that's how he sees Giraud. He's his servant. So instead of mocking his bothersome nature, problems will be blamed on him. Subtle threats, he's not about subtle threats at all. So in the end we're going like, how dare you challenge your count? How dare he? And yeah, we'll keep that in mind. We are having a list with all his bad deeds in it, like marrying without asking for consent. And yeah, okay, I'm going to beat him up for it now. That's my immediate reaction. And he refuses. See, he's a coward. Also a coward. Marrying without my consent. Making friends without my consent. Being a coward. Testing my patience at court. He is really ripe for the chopping block. He is. And he has a daughter now. That means this is going to be some kind of entrenched succession here, right? Because when he dies, his wife or daughter will take over, I think. It's always like when you have someone at court in a town, then that person will actually become the next mayor. Okay, we are called to become the regent. That's great. That means Guillaume is trusting us very much. And of course, we will not misuse that trust. We will just take it as, being recognized as such an important person in the realm. So that's great for us. We take the... no, we're not going to take that. We take the recognition. There we are. Probably just a quick one. Yeah, he's just on his way to Paris. All right. Oh no, and our alliance has actually expired because, what I said would happen happened. She died of consumption. Beatrice. He's very sad about this. Not being sad for her or his brother. Doesn't care. He is sad for the alliance that's gone. Damn it. He wanted to have that close connection. And now he can't have that. Alright. Yeah, not swinging the scales of power. Not worth it. Not going to steal gold. Nah, that's not his game. Alright, and Godfrey is now a widower. Right? He will not marry until the trait is gone. Which is fine. Not going to force a marriage upon him right now. Maybe sometime in the future. Who knows? If there's anyone really that I can profit off. If not, then maybe he will not remarry. He does have children now. That's great. Did not expect this, but now he has some. So yeah, all good. All is good. Now, the wife being pregnant is also good. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I can hold a funeral for her, but no, she wouldn't be eligible to bury here. Even if she was my sister-in-law. Alright, we have family drama. It appears that tensions between two of my family members has exploded into hatred. No doubt they will expect me to pick a side. That is Adhemar de Limoges, my brother-in-law, and who is a courtier of his brother, right? So he's not directly involved with me. And then there is Emmeline, who I actually like, right? Folk likes Emmeline. She's a drunkard now. I shouldn't host all these feasts, right? So that's probably a consequence of that. People get drunk. And now, yeah, I guess in that case, she has our support. More gesturing. Looking at him. Yeah, okay. No, she has the support. He doesn't like us for it. That's fine. Hate me all you want, man. I don't care much about it, since you don't have any influence over me. Oh, I notice Guy in the family's private chapel, flipping through the pages of a heavy book. Intrigued, I move closer and join him on a pew, recognizing the tome as a martyrologium, a lavishly illustrated compendium of the lives of the saints. Page after page of men and women being killed for their kindness and their faith, whispers Guy, close to tears. He's moved by it. I think I like that. Folks like that because that brings him closer to what he's supposed to do, right? He's supposed to be a member of the clergy. So him picking up a book and reading is good. And being moved by the martyrs. Another son! Another son. There we have him. Martin Taillefer. Okay. Let's just call him by one of our ancestors. And Robert isn't bad. That is our father-in-law, but we would honor that side of the family by naming him Robert. And it's okay. He's just the third in line currently. So always good to have the first in line have the traditional house name, and he's called Guilhem. So that's good because Guilhem is really the Taillefer name. Right, the first Taillefer that was called Taillefer actually, right? Not the first Count of Angoulême from our family. But the first guy to actually be called Taillefer was a William or Guilhem. So that's good. Now, I am checking. I'm checking Adhemar. There was something left to be done, right? Yeah, you had your chance with arranging an introduction for you. You did not take it. So we will find you a wife. That's how it's going to go. He will not be able to choose now. Yeah, there's not much there that really excites me. This girl here, Jimena Fernandez Ordóñez. She was apparently once or before married to King Garcia of Galicia. So, House Jimena, that's, wow. A former queen, so to say. Not landed, but her own great-grandfather was a king as well. So, yeah. While nowhere near power right now, it at least comes with a lot of prestige. As you would see, he would gain some prestige as well. And she's even pretty. No, she's not pretty. She's comely. I'm sorry. The game has these distinctions. Comely, pretty, and beautiful. She is the first option. There we go. And now we are asking for an Iberian vulgar tutor. Ralph came to me today in his capacity as my tutor, this time accompanied by a simple-dressed Castilian man, but one I've actually heard of, a local poet, I think. My lord, I would like you to meet Jaime. As a learned man, I thought he might help with tutoring Iberian vulgar to the children at the court. Useful, considering it's spoken by our neighbors in Castile, yes? The man bowed and said little, though he seems pleasant enough and eager to join the court at Angoulême, if I so desire. And, I'll hand it to you, Ralph. That is actually a good idea. Being able to speak the language spoken in Spain and all across, that road to Santiago. Our children being able to speak that language would be good. So, all right, I would consider this. Right now, we would be able to say have child study language, and then we could pick Iberian. That being said, I would have to pay some coin for this. And the thing is, looking at her, hey, it's Jimena. She does speak Iberian vulgar. And while she is at our court, she could have some kind of job, couldn't she? And maybe that's what she should do, and not him. Not going to invest coin when I already have someone here who could do that for me. Oh, what's happening here? Godfrey is doing a poor job. Of course he is. Of course he is. Godfrey. Like, he should, in theory, be good at this. In theory. But apparently he isn't. Maybe because of his wife being dead and so on. Maybe he's not having the best of times. And we could have another marriage celebration. Now, yeah, I'm doing this first. Having our children study the language. Oh yeah, I will plan a feast for their union. Yeah, hardly enough to sustain a meaningful relationship. I don't care. I just want her to be married. I want this connection to Spain. And he had his chance, so now he needs to keep quiet. I will still honor him, of course, because that's what you do. Could look for honorary guests again. Again, I just see the counts here. The Duke is not coming, I guess. We could try to make this good again with the devil here. The craven devil. The pathetic devil, I think I called him. The pathetic devil of Lusignan. Yeah. Could do this. I could also do the same trick that I've done before. Yeah, Emery would make sense, I guess. Since he's so important for us. We might be able to, however, amend his relationship with our niece. But yeah, if I look again into, extended family does nothing. Knights again. Yeah, sure. If I look into the neighboring rulers here, I see that would make sense. In a way that we do see that we will be able to have kings again at our court. And they probably would not come if they were not honorary guests, right? And since she is from Castile... Oh no, she's not from Castile, she's from Galicia. But at least Castile is close. And House Jimena, so that was the brother, her brother-in-law. So it makes total sense to invite him. There we go. And that will be it. I guess in this case, I don't have the money to spend lavishly on food and courses and so on. So we have to go with that. But it should be fine still, right? It should be fine still. Maybe you could try to befriend someone. But that didn't work out nicely last time. And we don't want to end up having that option again where we need to grovel to someone just to make them a friend. Don't want to see that option ever again. Yeah, of course he could try to seduce someone, but now you see the sister-in-law, niece, wife, younger half-sister. No. I think he would think they're off limits. Servants run across the hall, bring the final decorations. Some of the guests I get to arrive, and I indulge myself with a delicious drink by the fire. I seem to have spotted some roast swan. Yeah, maybe we'll have some swan, now that we have a royal guest. And he will be our royal guest, won't he? Yes. He is coming. Good, good, good. Now. Yeah, waiting. 4 months, of course. It's going to take a while until he's coming here. Until then, we're just bored, as you can see. Yep, that is him. Yeah, of course, he does, for example, have a daughter. And being close to the kings might even at some point give us the opportunity to have that kind of prestigious marriage. Okay, diplomacy perk is available. I mean, if I was a player who would go for the best bonuses, I would likely go in this path here and choose Heart of the Family. So I could pick Room to Rule. That would definitely help my children. But no, I think that's not his game. He is about family, but not about loving his family, if that makes sense. Thoughtful, instead, would give us more modifiers for send gifts, and that kind of fits his transactional approach much better. There we are. Still in chainmail and helmet, even at a feast. That's just the way it is, I guess. Some things will never change. Waiting and waiting for time to pass. I'm constantly doing 2. Like setting the pace to 2. I like when things go smoother, right? If I do this, yeah, 3 would also be okay, I guess. But at 4 and then especially 5, it just goes too fast for me. And I don't just want to jump from one event to another, but I also want some breather in between. Right, the son is now patient. That's probably befitting him. And our son Guillaume is actually also callous now. That, yeah. Alright. Many years ago, when Roland de Normandie arrived on the shores of northern France to rule over Normandy, few could have imagined the glorious destiny of the Normans. Normandy, once a mass of squabbling warlords of different origins, has unified under the rule of King William. Under William's brilliant and determined leadership, the Normans have crossed the English Channel to wrestle control of England from the undeserving previous rulers, and there is no doubt they'll spread many aspects of Frankish culture and administration throughout England. Now, with the royal domain straddling the Channel, a new golden age has dawned for the Normans. Victory in warfare was only assured, as far as William concerned, through embracing diverse viewpoints and strategies, and the Normans will continue to practice that, okay? The consolidation of Normandy is completed. That is a struggle introduced with the Rice mod. Again, you should all play Rice. It's yeah, one of the best mods, definitely, for CK3. So many things you can do in that mod. Alright, yeah, he gains the nickname the Conqueror, finally. He's able to compile the Domesday Book. That's great. That's historical. Even gets 1000 renown. Wow. That should elevate the Normandy dynasty even further. I was having a look here if that even affected the wife, but yeah, the level of splendor is still insignificant. Just like ours, actually. That's not going to stay like that, of course, because he now gets way more renown than I do. I was misclicking. Yeah. Oh yeah, I could actually also try to learn the language from her. There we go. That would make sense for us too. Yeah. Guess it's too late to be able to speak to the King of Castile here. Oh, that's fine. Probably have this kind of, yeah. I mean, it's a Romance language after all, both of them. So yeah, you might be able to communicate. This girl here is, this woman here is fighting with Maud, who is, yeah, my sister-in-law. That's not happening. right? So, of course, we could we could restrain Clemencia until things calm down. But no, I will pick this one where we say, halt! We will talk about this later. But rather, he's putting an end to it, and that's his way of showing his authority. Yep. Click it, me, in the video. Alright, yeah. So, Louis is here, as is Folk, and they have brawled at the feast. I do not like that at all. Now, thinking about consequences here, but he's currently distracted, and Folk is actually severely wounded, had even the aggravated wound modifier. His health is fine here, supposedly. Let's see how long that will last. Alright. Count Arnaud goes on and on about court alliances. So he's boring Folk. He's boring us. So, yeah, Folk, as we established, is very blunt in his opinions. So he's not someone to say, oh, no, it's fine with me and whatever. Make some excuses. If he thinks that that guy is making an idiot of himself by boring him, he will tell him. There you go. You making a fool of yourself could never bore me. Go ahead. Tell me more, you idiot. And of course, he wouldn't like that, but he is from the south of Aquitaine, from the Vasconia region. We don't care that much about what he feels about us. Jimena arrived at the court. Oh yeah, and we get that event again. Disaster strikes, of course. Why is the wine always going bad? Why can't we make sure beforehand? Oh, in this case, we did make sure. I mean, we could still say pitch in. That will give us some money, and we need money desperately. But no. Not in front of a king. We won't tell a king to just pitch in, and you see, I can give you my tankard. There's a bit of wine left in that one. How about that? We do have secret stores now, because we already anticipated this, and we are going to crack open the secret barrels. There we are. That's working out for us. Alright. Is there anything more jovial than a good feast? Guests throng to and fro, eating and chatting while flickering torchlight plays of every wall, light bouncing like laughter around the hall. There's few truer expressions of the mortal experience than this. Yeah, we are lustful. We like this kind of thing. Being together with others and being hedonistic. So naked, so honest, just people enjoying the company of other people. I guess he wouldn't mind if people were naked too. So, yeah, he could say good folk to mingle with here. I actually rolled the die for this one, and I think I picked up a 5, so I took the last option here. Yeah, a chance to be seen. That is befitting of him, of course. Alright. Yeah, Agnes is also a drunkard now. The drunken stumble. Count Aner unlatched an enormous The Cauldron event again. Okay. At least it's not an important person that's now suffering from this, but rather that personal physician who has before kind of been rude to our sister-in-law, so that we are fine with that. It's drawing to a close. They're expecting a toast, of course, and we will provide the King of Castile with a toast. Really glad that he was here. Oh, a long time coming. Who would have thought that when Agnes first began our relationship, we would still be together after so many years? Yeah, not I. And it was I who made it clear that I didn't consider our affair to be a serious one. Yet we are still together, and while it's true that some of the sparkle has gone out of our ardor, I can't deny that I still hold a great deal of affection for her. If I want to continue this, however, I might have to start putting in far more effort. I might have to consider the idea that maybe our relationship is going somewhere after all. Yet do I want that? Yeah, that's not the line of thoughts he would be having, because what could he be going? Like, where would he be going with this? Even if his wife died, he would not take her as his wife, because she's lowborn. That's definitely not the thing he would be doing. But he's still keeping her around. Yeah, right? Otherwise, he might have gotten rid of her long ago. But she's playing her part. She's doing the things she's supposed to do. Yeah, so I guess... well, I guess it is what it is. We're not going to tell her anything that would give her the idea that this is more than it is. We'll just say, it is what it is, and so on. There you go. Alright, it ends. Now coming back to the merry couple here. I think this was a good thing. I think I'm very glad that this marriage came to be. This brought us closer to, the Spanish crowns even. We were able to invite the King of Castile to this. Yeah, being a rightful ruler. That's good for us. And we have the Cathars. Duke Thibaut of Champagne has announced to the world that he and his vassals have converted to Catharism. Having become disillusioned with the teachings of the Catholic priests, the noble of Champagne no longer consider the clergy to be righteous and true. As Cathars, they believe their new faith properly aligns with the will of God, and they are distancing themselves from their former religious institutions. I know the game is doing this, because of its mechanics and so on. Of course, this is not historically accurate. The Cathars would not have been part of, or would have not evolved inside of Champagne, northern France anyway, but rather in southern France, right? So that's not what we are going to do. Anyway, yeah, our learning is only 3. He does not understand why someone would consider a heresy, right? There we go. That's where it's originating from Albi, in fact, and then spreading from there. This was a movement by low-born people or low nobles. This is not something that is top-down, right? It did not happen top-down. It took a long time for the higher nobility to, kind of convert to this. And it was not like a snap point, from one way to another, but rather a gradual process over time. And we are very early for this still. So this would have happened much later. Yeah, he's now called a heresiarch. Again, that's not how it would have happened, but yeah, we'll just take it the way it is. He is now, he's now preaching Catharism. Very different from Catholicism. Several pillars of that faith, like, they are against any kind of sex, so folk would really not like to be part of this. They believe that procreation is evil in itself, so not having children is actually virtuous. So they were doomed from the start, weren't they? But the thing is, they were actually quite... they were preaching equality, really. Women could become priests and bishops in that religion, which is... from our point of view, like hyper modern, right? That the Catholics wouldn't do that nowadays. So, there we are. Okay, it's happening in the north, way away from us. So, not something to concern ourselves with. It's okay. It happens. Yeah, we're not that good at learning here. Of course, we have a learning of 3, so that's that's because of that. Now that guy is becoming a Cathar as well. Brie Française. And Brie Française is directly next to Paris, so it's a bit alarming. We don't want the King of France to become a Cathar. The sun is also callous, and that brings me to think about these house traditions again. If we are all callous, do we go for authority? Would make sense, right? He was callous, arrogant, and vengeful. Gain diplomacy, natural dread +20. Would work out, I guess. At this point, I'm not really sure. I could also pick honor. I guess this is something I will come up with before the next episode and choose one. I think honor would be very fitting too, right? It's something he wants to portray, what he wants to represent. Authority is something that he does. Yeah, can make love to Agnes. Why not? There we go. Don't read the text. Don't read the text. They're still respectful with each other, and that's good. Oh yeah, I think he's a regent right now. Again. What could we do? Invite settlers? Yeah. Build a religious building? Not now. Can't petition the king currently. Yeah. What am I hinting at here? I forgot what I was saying in the video, so I don't know. The King of France is in an entrenched regency, so we had a change in power. A young king now, King Hugh II. Okay. Not concerning us too much. We do like to have our duke be in a more prominent role. Oh, what do we have here? My wife, Countess Kündo, is with child, and I should be overjoyed. However, she has been acting strange, quick to end conversations, nervous glances. She could barely look me in the eyes during dinner the other night. I just cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. I would not put it past her to bear someone else's child simply to torture me. It could be her getting back at him, right? Now, how do we handle this? And his blunt approach, I think, only leaves one option here, and that is saying to her, you have to tell me. Right? Of course the child is yours. Kündo smiles with cold intent. How could you ever think otherwise? That doesn't sound to me like she's honest about this at all. And again, she may be trusting, but Folk is honest. That doesn't mean that he takes any BS. He wants the truth. And now that he doesn't get it out of her, I don't think he would just let go. But rather, now is the point where he does have to go behind her back. And, probably ask the spy master, probably ask his niece to have a look into this. So, yeah. There we go. Dishonorable villain. Yes. Who would trust a dishonorable villain? All right. Yeah, I don't believe her. Let's see what happens. What we find out. Regent again. Oh. You must understand. I never want to hurt you. Tears are streaming down Countess Kündo's face. After drawn-out silence, she finally admits it. Mayor Père Arnaud is the true father of my child. Oh, God. She actually did it. She did it. Yeah, possibly to get back at us for having a mistress. That sounds very much like her. Since she can't take it out on her, or she doesn't, she is taking it out on us. She's picking the wrong person for this. Now, this guy here is a direct vassal of Guilhem, so that means he is very close. Up here in the city of Saint. Okay. Alright, she has taken a younger lover. Okay. How do we approach this? That is now the very big question. Because he can do this in two ways, right? First of all, the secret must stay between us. Intuitively, that doesn't sound much like Folk, being this blunt and honest guy who favors the truth over everything else. But this would allow us to blackmail her, giving us a strong hook over her and keeping her in her place. Right? After this, she would not go against us in any kind of way. She would be very much in our pocket. And the other question is, would we care about that child if we bring it up as my own? And I guess the answer is no too. He already has 3 sons from her, and their heritage at least is not doubted to this point. Maybe I should look for secrets at some point. So if that's a boy, that's fine. He would not inherit anything or so on. He's also not that attached, right? Being callous doesn't mean he's not that attached to his children that much. obviously wants to have a good heir and so on. He wants the children to play a role. But no. He, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I guess we'll pick that option. I mean, yeah, this intuitively sounds like the thing he would do. But that would mean trouble. Trouble at court. He would have to have trouble with his wife. Like, he would have to do something about it. He could not just let this go. And, yeah, does he want that kind of trouble? Yeah. It's not worth it in the end. And the prospect of having her in his pocket, that is quite enticing. So, yeah. In the end, we say this secret must stay between us. And now, yeah, we blackmail her. This will give us stress. Yes, he feels stressed about this. This is not what he wants. Definitely not. He only thinks that this is the most opportune thing to do in this position. Right? There we are. Blackmailing her. This will give us a strong hook. She's not doing anything against us now. She couldn't even do murder schemes against us. And that guy. Okay, what do we do with him? Do we actually have to do something with him? That's the big question. I mean, he's harmless. He's a lowly mayor. I guess you can see why she liked him, being shy and temperate and so on. I assume they have some kind of, you know, BDSM relationship. She's whipping him and some stuff. And yeah, then he gets to, you know, do the thing in the end after he's taken all of her crap. And of course, I could blackmail him as well. I would gain more stress and so on. It's just a weak hook on his behalf. Do I even need this? And since he's such a lowly mayor, doesn't even have any lineage and so on, I don't need to do anything with him. I can just let him be. He is no concern to me. He does not have these kind of attachments, right? He would feel no hard feelings here. He even understands that to a degree. Being lustful, right? Yeah. He would just make... if he thinks he should need to use that, he will. But for now, he will just do nothing. Just let this go on. There we are. We have a blackmail hook on the wife. Nothing we can do with that per se, but we are not going to use it. Right? We're just having that hook so that she is put in her place. Alright, yeah. Another child. That is not my child. I guess I as a person feel strongly about this, but Folk as a person does not. Easy to make his peace with that kind of thing. Okay. Duke Guillaume is back. He is wounded, I see. So, that's concerning, because his son is very young. Might as well try to take control of the son at some point. I have not done that in the game here, but I could think about it. Oh no, his firstborn is already... He has already given him land. That would make it complicated. Yeah. Don't know what I was looking for here. Just clicking around, I guess. Oh yeah, I could resign from the council and then ask for a council position to finally become chancellor. Would he really do that? As I said, like, being marshal is actually not bad. And he would go against a Guy here, who is, in theory, his ally. But we can't have an alliance because we already have too many. Fair enough. Yeah, might sway him at some point because we could go there. But yeah, let's worry about that another day. Yeah, is that really what we want? We would cause some stress within the nobles. Maybe not at this crucial point when the Duke is ill and possibly about to die. Then we will have tabula rasa anyway, and we will choose new people at court, new councillors. Alright, so where do we go from here? Where do we go? Yeah, she's only average now in her aptitude because she's a drunkard, I guess. And there's no one else we could pick here. Well, it's alright. It's okay. We still trust her. At some point, maybe we would think about putting her in a nunnery. That would be the sensible thing to do. Yes. That's what happens sometimes. Sometimes we just have these rooms. Rooms where we can breathe. But nothing's happening. And we just look. Look at the map. Look at the little things that are moving around. I guess we are still trying to learn Iberian. I don't think he will achieve that. But he's trying. Yeah. I guess I was looking if I could do anything with that hook. I guess if at some point she would really go against us, we would have the ability to easily put her in prison. Something to keep in mind. But for now, no. William. Ah, he is having children. Yeah. By the way, I have created a mod. I will talk about this in a moment, because here I was looking into folk actually having died as a consequence of that brawl with the lowborn knight, Louis. At least they produced a daughter. That's really what what folk is concerned about. He's not like, yeah, okay, he's dead. Because she now has those claims. That makes her a very precious person. Right? Adelinde. And probably not being able to marry one of my sons because of the direct connection here through Amborga being the sister-in-law. But something to keep in mind that we have her at court now. And yeah. What do we do here? What do we do with that? She is obviously now a widow. She might even leave the court now. That's concerning. I was looking into maybe being able to have a funeral for folk, but no, not close enough in as family in order to have that. So, yeah, that's happened. Can't do anything against that. And that means when it comes to our knights, now we are quite limited. And the thing is, how do we deal with that? Like this guy, Louis. He did not, in fact, he did not kill folk, but he was directly responsible for this. And that is certainly not what I want from the knights at my court. Now I would be aware of his disloyalty, right? A loyal knight would not do that, because folk was under my protection. He was part of my family. He attacked part of my family there. So, I mean, yeah, there's... my hands are bound to a degree. I guess I would like to keep him because he's capable as a knight, right? At the same time, I do feel that I have to dismiss him. I mean, that's the nicest thing I could do. I could also imprison him, behead him, right? Not beheading, that would be reserved for noble people, but he would be hanged or anything. But in this case, dismissing is the simple option. Like I said, he is callous, but he is not sadistic. He does not gain any pleasure from hurting people more than is necessary. Now, I'm looking here into people I could bring to my court that might be suitable knights. That guy obviously isn't. That guy isn't either. Also can't afford clothes. That guy also not. And then we have Manasses de Chatillon, who is the father of our personal physician. And I just saw here that he is also currently a knight, and that won't go. Don't want the physician to also be on the battlefield where he could die. No, we need him to patch people up. So we have a lot of guys now that we don't want to be knights. And not many people that we actually have that we consider being worthy of being knights. Well, and in that case, maybe we invite some. Right, let's see if someone comes around that we might take to court. Oh yeah, he could marry again. Now this trade is lost, and I might look into this. Again, I do think that we might not even look into this because we don't need it. If we gained a really, really good alliance through this, then maybe, but we don't. And if it came to prestige and marrying for prestige, yeah, I guess there would be some options here. I will look to that in between the sessions, and then I'll decide. But yeah, for the currently, I won't do anything. I was about to say I created a mod that allows courtiers to have more children, because in the base game courtiers hardly ever have children. Huge nerfs to that, and I don't know. I like to have a lively court, and I don't want to bring too many people to court. I don't want to have these people coming and going. I want to cultivate little dynasties of their own at my court. Okay, now we have someone here, Baron. He did my summons and has arrived at court as my guest. Let's see who he is. He is a sadistic man. Okay. He's also good in intrigue. I might be able to, at some point, should we have that need, be spy master. Being chased, yeah, alright. Calm is okay. And actually, he is highborn. He is, well, a low noble. He does not have much of a lineage, but at least he is not lowborn. Yeah, so do we do that? Obviously, it's going to cost us. Yeah, currently we have Charles in that position as well. This guy would then be treated differently from Charles. He would be allowed to have... Oh yeah, I was thinking about if I let Charles go at some point, I would at least give him some coin just to respect, right, the work that he did for us. Of course, Louis did not get any money. Okay, a murky lineage, right? It is not my child she holds close, but the spawn of Mayor Perno. Yeah, again, he doesn't have hard feelings about this. But yeah, okay. Okay. We will make sure that no one knows about this. Treat him as our son, and probably give him to the church as well, or something like that. Okay, reduced fertility. Alright. Tonight's family feast was a quiet affair without incident. I was just about to retire for the evening, in fact, when I spoke to my little boy, Basile. I don't think the little boy even knew the full implications of what he was saying, just that he had innocently overheard his cousin whispering about it and found it all incredibly amusing. Well, I understood the implications very well, even if Basile did not. Maria has a secret, one my niece had now inadvertently revealed. Okay. Maria has a secret. Oh. Don't know where that came from. There she is. Okay, she is... did I see that now? She is a non-believer, actually. That's... but it's back to our son. That's important. More important. He's lying. He's lying. He stole from Mayor Géraud and is lying about it. We are fine with taking coin from Mayor Géraud. That's not our problem. He can do that if he likes. But he could just rob him and just, I don't know, give him a smack and say, give me money. Right? That's the proper thing to do, not being sneaky and stealing. Right. Now, we definitely don't want our son to be deceitful. And of course, if we make him honest, he comes very close to our current character. That being said, his ambition does make him different to a degree, and we will see that when he is actually our new count, but yeah, we'll see to it then. Now, yeah, no, he would not say we are guided by rules greater than ourselves. No. He should be honest about this, right? Be open, be honest. Be blunt if need be. Don't deceive. My boy. There we go. he would have actually been a great schemer. Damn it. Now, Alazai here, our bastard, no, not our bastard, our wife's bastard, is cradled by sickness. Yeah, I guess that's just divine punishment. Of course it is. So, yeah, okay, might not even make it. Back to the question of whether we take that Baron to court. We do need a knight. He's decent at that. He might even have other uses. He's also quite good in diplomacy, I see. So he could have uses apart from being a knight. We would even allow him to marry if we find a suitable match. Duchel. That sounds like... Well, he is Norman, I see. But Duchel, that means he... maybe he was knighted in Spain. That would be possible. Like he would have been part of one of the little wars that take place there. And so, yeah, now I'm taking him to court. Yeah, so maybe he has distinguished himself as a knight or as a mercenary in some of the wars with the Muslim rulers. Arostan de Limoges, that's a weird name. Ah, that can be weird. Oh, our son gained 2 martial. Well done, Ralph. Yes, we appreciate Ralph. Good work. Oh, the arousal was stress. And that's the tipping point. Wanton desires. Oh no. Yeah, constantly being distracted by his lascivious thoughts and erotic fantasies. Of course, of course, of course. All too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? Well, yeah, that would be an obvious solution. That would get rid of his stress. But would he do that? That's the big question. That would obviously come with people looking down on him, right? Like, if he doesn't have any qualms with having a lover at court and so on, but going to a brothel, that sounds like it's beneath him. And so he would do if he was at stress level 2, maybe. Not at stress level 1, yeah, he's still with her. So, in this case, well, this is just a stupid option. I don't like this option at all. Why would he choose some kind of new view of gods? And even something that... How would he know about this anyway? Yeah, and he's not the kind of guy to do that anyway. Like, we know that he's not a believer in that sense. Of course, he's a believer, but he's not engaging with religion that way. So, in that case, bite your lip and try to stay focused. Yeah. Could have a look into finding someone to seduce, although, again, that would cause me initial stress, right? Yeah, she's only 14, already betrothed. I think to the guy we found very boring. Jimena is, of course, married and currently pregnant. Also drunkard. Ah, it's all the feasting, right? All the feasting. Making everyone drunk. Maud here. I think we wouldn't have any qualms going for the wife of one of our family. That's, yeah. That's alright. But, yeah. She seems to be... Well, she's zealous and so on, right? So she would be... she would be like, no, I'm married. I won't do that. So it would be very hard to convince her of that. Yeah. That's just the way it is right now. He's stressed. I guess that can happen to him. Yeah. Maybe he will go. Maybe that will make him go to his wife. See if he can bed her as well. Again. Okay. Nearing the 2-hour mark here, so I was going off and saying bye.